We're starting the recording. Is everybody ready? Somebody's, what, before we start, there's something going? I
Yeah, I
hear,
know.
It's Bruce.
We're listening to a voicemail over here.
we can't do that during a meeting. No offense. This is a common council meeting to be held Tuesday, September 21st, 2021 at 7 p.m. This meeting is called to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderperson Sarian.
Present.
Alderperson Collins.
Present.
Alderperson Bailey.
Present.
Alderperson Kastner.
Present.
Alderperson Akers.
Present.
Item B, we don't have an opening prayer this evening. Item C, Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please join me as we say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, moving along, I'd entertain a motion under item D for the approval of the August 17th, 2021 minutes.
Motion for approval.
Motion by Alderperson Kastner.
Second.
Second by Alderperson Collins. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Just quickly under mayor's report, you saw the email, and Paula's not here today, but God, I can't remember the date. The Finance Committee meeting at the end of October, the budget will be presented at the Finance Committee meeting. That still gives us plenty of time to get it to the public hearing in the middle of November. I think it's November 17th or 16th or 15th. So that's coming. It's been an extremely challenging year this year. Everybody should be aware of that.
Public hearing is on the 16th.
16th, my birthday. Yeah, great.
Yeah, my son's birthday.
Yeah, is it really your son's birthday? He's a Valentine's Day child. Did you know that? If you go back,
Okay.
point of conception, it's Valentine's Day. Just wondered about my parents. Nobody ever knew. It's probably more than everybody here wants to know.
TMI.
All right, so that is clearly the big thing that's coming up, is the budget, and it is very challenging. Some of our neighboring communities right now, as I understand, one of our neighboring communities can raise their taxes about $8,000, which doesn't even cover the price increases for postage, probably for most communities. So it's a challenge. I keep saying this, and I'm trying to get it in the minutes to the extent that I can. One part of the political continuum seems to want to let, raise taxes, you do all this stuff. The other side is kind of taking the other approach, and neither approach is working. I think we're all fiscally prudent. We all pay taxes, right? We're being conservative. We're just trying to provide services to our constituents. There was a recent article about the defunding of police departments, and it's not by Democrats, it's by the levy limits, right? Over the course of time, a number of communities throughout the state have, because police departments are the largest portion of our budget, and it's people, what ends up happening is the levy limits are crimping municipal budgets and county budgets up north, causing many law enforcement folks to take it since they're...
You do realize if you just eliminate the law enforcement and protective services out of that levy limit, that would solve the problem as opposed to opening up the levy limit to everyone, to everything, so they can do non-essential
There's a couple things too, though,
things
right?
you could do. Otherwise, you're just getting
Yeah.
political about it.
I'm not trying to be political about it, but if you just do for cops, I mean, we have 4 elections coming up in 2022, where we will, and I will get open records requests from Freedom to Vote places all over the country. Those things cost a lot of money. If I were to have a heart attack at home tonight, I would feel very comfortable that I would probably make it, because of the level of our paramedic service. When I try to go to work during the week, right? Those are all costs, and what we've taken, what the city's done strategically and importantly, just to kind of keep things on a level playing field, everybody gets treated the same as far as insurances and benefits go to the extent that they can, even though police and firefighters are part of collective bargaining units and unions, right? So I'm not trying to make it political, but when you have levy limits where we can raise taxes this year $90,000, and it costs multiples of that just for health insurance going up by 5% and 2% pay raises for police and firefighters, which are subject to collective bargaining agreements. That's a problem. That's, so the only way that we can solve that problem, and I'm trying to pull rabbits out of the hat, we had budget meeting today. I'm trying to pull rabbits out of the hat and using ARPA money for capital equipment. That doesn't even include buying anything. That's just that. That's an issue. And when you can't raise your levy to pay for that, that's a huge problem. And if you raise the levy only for police departments, typically what some communities do, they say things like, and I know this isn't a debate, but it is part of the budget that's coming up. If we were to sacrifice all of the other departments for one department, that creates other problems down the line. We had that problem when Act 10 happened. We had departments that weren't even talking to each other. And is that because they're mean people or whatever? It's no, because there's a sense of fairness that everybody's in it together. The people that risk their lives are certainly paid much more, and I'm not even remotely trying to suggest that that's the end all to it, right? But we try to make sure everyone's treated fairly, respectfully, and to some extent equally when it comes to benefits and when it comes to salaries, which are adjusted based on the kind of position that they're in. So it is an issue. I mean, and
So we should be able to raise our taxes to our constituents as much as we want?
no, we should be able to, so the thing with the state, even though we're not engaging in a discussion here, the thing with the state is the state has two formulas that we have to plug in numbers to. One's called the Expenditure Restraint Program that says we can raise, because our expenditures are expected to go up a certain amount, usually the cost of living plus or minus, right? That says, we put our numbers into that formula, and it says we can raise our taxes, take that back, taxes, our expenditures a certain amount of money. The problem is the other formula with the levy limits doesn't allow us to raise our taxes that certain amount of cost of living expenditure restraint dollar amount. So there's a formula that says this is how much it's actually going to cost provided by the state. And then there's another formula that says, but this is all you can raise.
So
a
you want to
huge
get rid of
problem.
that so we can raise the taxes on a
I don't want, so as you probably know, Alderperson Kastner and most of you that sit up here, I am a fiscally conservative, libertarian, Jeffersonian, liberal Democrat, which covers everything, I think. But when it comes to spending money, I'm as fiscally conservative, I think, as anybody anywhere in the state. We do more with less across the board than anybody. I'm convinced of that. And we do very good things with it. But when it gets to the point when there just isn't enough to keep the, right? That's my problem.
Did this
And
get
it is a levy limit issue.
Did-
I don't subscribe to the other parties' the idea that we should just willy-nilly raise it, right? But there's some point in the middle that really needs to be adjusted.
Was this enough to get in the minutes?
No, that was just to let you know what's going on.
All right, good.
That was an announcement
You're
or a
welcome.
report. Are there any other, I was just, under Mayor's report, I'd want to thank everybody that showed up on September 11th to the car show at Conkle Park. I want to thank Rose and Nissan and the other sponsors that made that possible. We had 341 cars this year, more cars than we anticipated. It's about 60 or 70 cars more than last year. We had an issue with registrations where the cars were lined up all the way down Layton Avenue, and we're actively working to address that next year. What happens with big cars is they overheat.
That never happens. They never leave those cars running on there.
It's not even that, though. They overheat, right? They can't be idling, including yours truly, who, thank God, just changed his radiator to an aluminum one.
Did your car win the,
No, it did not
It
win.
was not eligible.
It did not win. Huh? What?
It was not eligible.
I could have been. I could have picked it to be the best in show, but I didn't. I picked because I do value my political career, at least for 3 more years. No, the winner was some folks from Racine who had a 1953 Pontiac. I'm not sure if it was a Safari, but it was a wagon that was done extremely well. And the Best of Show award this year is the Solid Gold, the Jim Patterson Solid Gold McDonald, well, it's not McDonald's, get rid of the McDonald's part, award for Best in Show, recognizing Jim Patterson, who used to own the Solid Gold McDonald's on 76th Street, and it was Wednesday night fun for everybody for a lot of years, right? So I guess that's it. Okay. Are there any aldermanic reports? Tree Commission? No?
we did meet just Arbor Day is coming up on October 2nd,
Right.
a Saturday, and the,
Do you remember where that is? Where it's going to be?
Elmdale?
Elmdale School?
Elmdale,
Yeah, on Honey Creek, okay.
and we talked about other things going on, and the superintendent did inform us about the training they had on the lifts, the tree service, sky things, you know, they had extensive training on that, reported on that, and a few other things, so.
Okay,
We're on schedule to replace a lot of trees, almost to 400.
Right, with MMSD grant money mostly, right, so, okay.
I just wanted to say we had the awards for from the beautification committee for landscaping awards. That was also on Saturday, September 11th, and I attended that.
Thank you very much for attending that. That was at the exact same time as the car show. And I love trees, but I really like gold cars much more.
This was not about trees, it was about landscaping.
And
not just
landscaping.
trees.
Well, I'm just saying.
Flowers and.
Thank
other
you for
things are
attending that.
involved, yes.
Big rocks, maybe?
And I just want to say,
Rocks, fences, grass, all kinds of things.
I just wanted to say I cannot attend the October 19th meeting. I didn't want to forget to mention that.
Okay, okay,
I have a conflict.
okay. Any further announcements right now? I don't think so. Citizen commentaries, anybody down there that is registered to speak for any item that's not on the agenda? I don't think so. I see two groups of people, and I think I know what they're here for, and I know what they're here for. So. Okay, item I is a public hearing. I-1A, this is a public hearing on an ordinance to adopt a land use map amendment to the City of Greenfield Comprehensive Plan for the property located at 10-375 and 10401 West Oklahoma Avenue from planned business to community facilities. The request is to approve an ordinance to adopt the land use map amendment. You may have received a note from Christie earlier. There was supposed to be another public hearing happening at the exact same time, which related to the zoning of this parcel. And that would require stuff too. So we're asking that after this public hearing that we not vote on this and we hold it until the next meeting, which is
Monday. 27th, Monday.
Monday night. Okay, and that's because of a scheduling screw-up. That has since been rectified, and we apologize to the property owners for that, or the applicants, I should say. With that being said, I'll turn it over to.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to refresh everyone, this is the condition of the Clemmer's banquet facility. We have applicants who are proposing to make substantial improvements to the property. And it's been neglected for some time and not used, obviously, for quite a while with COVID. But what you see before you is the proposed building elevations for a complete remodel of the exterior of the building. The applicants are proposing to convert this banquet facility to a mosque. And so these are the east and north building elevations, substantial changes and improvements to the building. And then this is, oops, that's a repeat of the north and east. The applicants have done a similar type of conversion in a different state. And so this is what that building looked like initially, and then after the remodel. This was the end result of the mosque. So they're not new to this type of remodel of a building. They're also proposing major exterior alterations. The dental office in the front of the building along Oklahoma will be demolished. The parking lot will be resurfaced. Landscaping will be added. Exterior lighting will be added. A new fence along the west and the south property lines will be added. And then obviously a new refuse enclosure as well. What's before you for the public hearing is amending the comprehensive land use map. This area of the city is identified as planned business, and in order to have some sort of religious institution, we need the community facilities land use. And that land use directs and guides the Common Council as to what the zoning of that particular property would be. So the public hearing that will be held on Monday is for the actual rezoning. You can't rezone to institutional without the comprehensive land use map guiding you in that direction. Today, the comp plan does not guide for that particular rezoning request because it's planned business. So it would be changing, if the council approves it, to the blue community facilities color. This is that former church on 100th Street, just as a comparison. So it would be for this one parcel. This is, the blue line is the city boundary. To the west and to the north, you have the city of West Dallas. They were notified and did reach out to me just for some general information, inquiring what the proposal was. The Plan Commission recommended approval at its July meeting, and we've received no objections to date.
Just quickly, and I only see the applicants here. Is anyone that's here to speak for or against or informational purposes concerning this item? Is anyone here to speak for or against or for informational purposes concerning this item? I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion by Alderperson Akers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Sarian. There's just one thing that I need to say for the record. Again, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, I think is that RFRA? Is that how you pronounce that? So oftentimes in these situations, we've gone through this before, there are certain things that this body cannot discuss or contemplate when making this decision. One of them is property taxes, or there's a strict scrutiny test applied that's been mandated by the U.S. Supreme Court. So that's not an issue. It's basically the use of the land on this piece of property is what we're discussing, the site and landscaping type issues. Okay, I just want to be very clear about that. If you start talking about some of these other things that the Supreme Court has said that you can't take into consideration, I'll shut you down. And I don't mean to be mean, but that's just the way I have to do it. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so this is going to be placed on next Monday's agenda for
Mondays, yeah.
consideration.
We
right?
don't have that agenda out either.
That comes out later.
Friday.
Friday comes out for Monday, right? There's a special common council meeting next Monday
5:30.
at 5:30, right?
Right.
So item I-1A should be placed on that agenda as well for further discussion then. Okay? We all good? All right. Moving along to J, old business. Does anyone have a council appointment for the Board of Public Works from you guys? Okay. Place that on the next agenda. I don't have anyone for the Board of Health or Tree Commission, I don't think. I don't have anyone as the alternate member of the Planning Commission. I have a number of people that expressed interest in that position, a number of them. Okay, so. All right, item K2, application for operator license. I entertain a motion to approve those as presented. Subject to all the disclaimers about.
I'll make that motion with all the disclaimers.
Motion by Alderperson Akers.
I'll second.
Second by Alderperson Collins. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 3 is a claim we received from Erie Insurance Exchange. I'm guessing Jennifer referred that to the city to council. Item 4, notice of circumstance of claim received from the Gruber Law Offices on behalf of Amanda Wienzerl. That was also, I believe, provided to council.
Yes.
That one relates to the injury to the police officer and that whole situation. Okay, item 5 is discussion decision to adopt an ordinance amending section 8.04 of the Greenfield Municipal Code regarding a parking zone reserved for persons with disabilities at 4627 South 46th Street. I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
This was from I think, bypassed the Board of Public Works, right? Or came from the Board of Public Works? Motion by Alderperson Kastner. Is there a second? Second by Alderperson
Akers.
Akers. Would you please call?
Alderperson Sarian?
Aye.
Alderperson Collins?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Item 6 is discussion decision to authorize sewer pack on behalf of Greenfield to submit revised Honey Creek floodplain mapping to FEMA. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderperson Kastner, is there a second?
Second.
Under
Second.
discussion, did it make the
Wait.
map,
Say what?
did it make the 100-year flood map bigger or smaller?
It revised the location of the floodplain for the Honey Creek.
Increase?
I wouldn't say it was an increase, it was more of a change in the location. It has to do with the fact that at least the portion north of Layton Avenue, it's the floodplain maps still show before the Honey Creek was concrete lined, which I think it was lined maybe in the 70s probably. So that's how out of date those maps are. And the maps that are from Loomis Road East, there was never any floodplain mapping done in that area, ever.
I
So-
guess my question is, are we putting any real property into the 100-year floodplain?
Yes, 2.
2?
No, there are parcels that are coming out of the floodplain, and there are parcels that will be in the floodplain.
If you look on page
4.
of your handouts, I think it's, what page is that? 14 of your handouts? I think it's page 14. So historically, between,
Here, 6.
Nope,
what
it's
would
past
that be?
that.
South of Cold Spring, along the Honey Creek, there's some concrete channel. I don't know if there's a way to, is it page 14?
No,
I'm
it's
looking
not
at,
page 14, it's got to be past that.
I'm sorry, it should look like this.
Yeah.
If you go
It's on page, starts on page 26.
not according to this.
Yeah. Too bad we can't bring it up.
It's showing me page 14,
She's trying.
It's in the
or maybe it's 14 of the packet for that.
engineer, you can go
No, it's
engineering,
14.
yeah, then go to committees.
There it is. Yeah.
Committees, committees,
Is it 14?
and common council.
Yeah,
So
here-
historically, south of Cold Spring along that channel,
Today's
Yeah.
21, today's,
can you guys see it?
and
Or
I
not?
can. It's
Or,
here.
I don't know, is he getting it?
gets the,
Do you need to see it?
Exhibit 1.
Oh, I'm on the
No,
wrong
not that
agenda
one,
item.
not
Exhibit 1.
this one, this is the one,
Okay.
And then page down.
not this one,
Oh,
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, we have it on screen
So
now.
this one, this is the map that created all sorts of controversy with a number of residents because when there was a FEMA map or LOMAR that was created, it showed the creek going right through these people's homes. Basically, for the first time, all these folks were notified that they were in the floodplain and that their home, whether they could be insured, there's all sorts of issues, right? So this rather significant issue was resolved. So all of those homes where you see the yellow or green or whatever color that is, they're kind of okay now.
And the red is the new floodplain
The
in that
red
area.
is the new floodplain.
Oh.
So if you
Now you
look,
see those homes aren't in it anymore.
That was a huge win for them.
that is a
us.
huge win for them. But if you also look now,
Page down.
if you go down there, right?
Oh, shoot.
So that's
That's our park.
our park. You can see where our park was, and you can kind of see, well, actually, that isn't our park yet. It is our park. Yeah, because that's the old,
Aerial.
it's the old aerial of the nursing home, Mount Carmel. I almost forgot what it's called. Do you see that, where the pink is over there on the upper left? So as you keep going through there and you follow it through our park, you can see where the new floodplain is, right? And you can see where the old floodplain was. Much of it was in our park and now isn't. And then if you go to I think it's
Next
the next
page.
picture, there is one house that was in the floodplain before and continues to be in the floodplain. This is the one that's right next to Ray's Butcher Shop.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's another issue across the street, and that's the house that's next to the right-of-way of where the Honey Creek is. That's, I don't know if that's a new one. That's a new one, right? So that's,
Actually, both are new.
yeah, but everybody always wondered about the,
Yeah, because the house.
that really looked like. and
Right,
it
because the
always did
house next to
flood.
Near Ray's has had frequent flooding
Right,
in the
so
past.
those are the two biggies. And then if you look further down, you can see where some other, and that's at, those two, so that's actually where the Honey Creek used to go. There's a big chunk of,
So the net total is 4 homes. And anecdotally, when we do have bad storms, that section of 43rd Street does flood frequently.
because the Honey Creek, which used to flow through there, is all in big concrete pipes that go all the way to almost Ramsey, I think, right?
Right, but it flows north.
But, so, right, you're right.
So what things determine if a floodplain is a floodplain? What
It's-
points or aspects? Is
So
it-
it's done with,
You can't just say, hey, let's move the boundary.
it's
over.
done with computer modeling, and it's based upon not only the people that do the computer modeling, which is sewer pack, but the DNR and the FEMA, Federal Emergency Management, and rainfall accepted standards and all that, and the elevations, all the land elevations.
So the bad thing about this is that the DNR, FEMA, I think the Army Corps of Engineers at some point is involved somewhere along the line. All of
Yeah,
these other people
yeah.
are involved in this. They create these maps. This has taken many years.
Yeah.
You might recall when we had the issues south of Cold Spring and that's what kind of initiated part of this.
Right, and the Honey Creek is just,
So
the
we
Honey
get the
Creek
letter. We
flows
get to
all
send
the
the
way to
letter.
the Menominee, so it flows through Greenfield, Milwaukee, West Dallas, under State Fair Park, into Wauwatosa, and then into the Menominee River, so it's not just about us, it's about that whole
So if you go to
system
the
and all
first
the
slide-
communities.
The first slide before all of these, you can see the actual entire, keep going, there, that one. See that one, the pink and green one?
Yeah.
That's the one that shows the entire extent for which
No, first page up.
FEMA
more.
and the DNR
There you
have been studying flooding. So it starts up in Wauwatosa and ends all the way down there, right?
Starts in my district.
Yeah, so the bad thing about this is, though, that while everyone else is the one that actually created this map and did all the investigation, right, we're the ones that actually write the letter, the properties that are impacted. And those would be in Alderperson Sarian's district, right? But the ones in Alderperson, I think it's Acres district, or maybe it's, I don't know who's,
It goes through mine.
that's you, I think, right?
Yeah.
So your people will be very happy. Alderperson Acres people won't be very happy, a couple of them. Okay, just so you know.
Comes down to loans. You can't get financing unless you buy flood insurance if you are in a
It's,
100-year.
it's an issue, right? I mean, but the reality is that it is what it is at this point. We spent years and years and years with these folks. Trying to get this.
We didn't have a choice.
We didn't have a choice, but we sort of initiated the process along Honey Creek because so many of our properties up there, south of Cold Spring, were adversely impacted by a map that was clearly wrong. There was, right, so.
Right, and every time, so we would, it's not that uncommon to have, if somebody would sell their property in that area where the map is wrong, they would have trouble getting a loan, so they would have to have a surveyor do a certain kind of survey to get a, what's called a letter of map revision through FEMA. It's a long, complicated, costly process for those homeowners where the mapping is incorrect right now, so. This provides a lot of relief. Plus, you know, if there was an actual natural disaster, this helps us qualify for FEMA relief, and, you know, we haven't experienced anything like that, fortunately, but it's always possible.
We did once during the straight line winds. I
Yeah,
believe
we
had-
did, yeah, I was gonna correct you on that.
Before your time. So, okay, the motion was made and seconded, right, I think, on this one?
Yep.
You're gonna have to call on this one, I think.
Alderperson Sarian?
Aye.
Alderperson Collins?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Okay, item 7, discussion decision to adopt a resolution in support of applying for a grant from the DNR for protection and restoration of the Honey Creek. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Alderperson Collins, there a second?
Second.
And Alderperson Akers, just quickly under discussion, Jeff has been a wizard lately getting grants for the Honey Creek.
All right.
So consistent with the stuff, the development that's going on in Loomis and Layton, we know about the new pond and stuff that's going into Conkle Park. We want to do that sort of longer term. The development on Loomis and Layton is actually significantly paying a good portion of that. But Jeff's also managed to get a ton of grants, including a very recent one.
A recent one for 250,000.
Right. So this is really important that we do this to get that straightened away. I also want to point out we got another grant for a trail, it sounds like.
Yeah, we got another grant for a trail last week for 250,000 from the DNR.
So this is, so just for the minutes, we're putting in a path from 60th to 105th, which will hook up at the Oakleaf Trail in the ATC right-of-way or Webco right-of-way, I'm not quite sure. Is that ATC?
Yeah, Webco right away, yeah.
Webco right-of-way. That was from 60th to 105th. This last one is from 43rd to 60th.
Right, and that's a
And the ultimate
joint,
goal is
joint
to get a
project with
path that'll
Milwaukee.
take us all the way, potentially as far east as we can go.
Right.
That'd be the lake,
That would be the lake somewhere down there, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
that's a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Very good thing, and
Definitely.
work well
Good
done.
job.
yeah, he's nailing it over there. So, all right.
Rock star.
Would you please call?
Alderperson Sarian?
Aye.
Alderperson Collins?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Okay, item 8 is approve a CSM, certified survey map for proposed recombination of 15 parcels located at 4,000 to 4,300 West Layton Avenue, 4365 and 4377 West Loomis, and 4650, 4658, 4666, and 4676 South 43rd Street, submitted by Scott Young, doing business as Cobalt Partners. Tax key numbers is listed. This is all part of the TIF that we were just talking about. Entertain a motion to create that CSM.
I'll make a motion to
Motion
approve.
by Alderperson Collins. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by
with the
Alderperson
understanding of
Kastner.
that flexibility of the line,
With what?
the flexibility of the line. Remember, we have a couple foot potential.
Yes, there was, and I'm not quite sure how to say that in the minutes, but there was a CSM and there was a discrepancy with potential discrepancy with one of the lines. So this gives staff the authority to put the line in the right place. It's not like a huge variation. Yes, thank you. I forgot about that. Motion was made and seconded. Would you call?
Alderperson Sarian?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey, I'm sorry, Collins?
Right. Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Okay, item 9 is approve a certified survey map for proposed combination of 3 parcels located 5403 South 42nd, 5380 South 43rd, and 5404 South 43rd, submitted by James Krakowski. Tax key numbers is listed. And entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderperson Kastner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Sarian. Got a call on that one too, I think.
Alderperson Sarian?
Aye.
Alderperson Collins?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Okay, item 10 is approved site landscape and architectural plans for Church and Chapel Pre-Planning Center to be located 4200 West Layton Avenue, submitted by Fred Carlson, doing business as iDesign, and Pam Larson, doing business as Church and Chapel Real Estate LLC. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. It's a sharp-looking building, too.
It's a very nice looking building. Motion by Alderperson Kastner. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderperson Collins. All in favor?
So
Aye.
under discussion.
Under discussion, yes.
Yeah, so there's not going to be a crematorium?
No, there's not even a funeral home
Yes.
there. This is essentially an
office?
office. It's
Just
basically
an
an office
office.
building,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty
You don't have
small.
a picture of that,
an
do you,
office.
by
Right.
chance? I don't know if it's easy to,
I know I read that it's just not, but I just wanted to make sure, because I know
Yeah,
there
no.
there are
That's a valid
constituents-
question.
yeah.
And actually,
Historically,
Pardon me?
it is a valid question.
That's a very good question.
It's been going on a long time.
Oh, yeah, okay.
that's a very good question, as long as,
Can I just say that the owners, the original owners of 4,000
that's it.
West
That-
Layton are sad to see their family home go.
Broadcast that, can you?
Their parents built it many, many years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that good looking?
That's the building, I guess, that's going in there. Okay. Did we vote? We voted, right?
We did vote, yes.
Okay. Anybody want to change their vote after looking at it?
No.
No,
We
I
didn't
do
vote.
miss them coming in, I go.
Huh?
I will miss them coming in.
I will miss them
I
coming
mean,
as well.
Larsens have been coming here for a decade.
Over a decade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, item 11, approve site and landscaping plans for boot connection in existing commercial building located
And then you said
4275 West
discussion.
Layton, submitted by Daniel Meyer doing business as Lynch and Associates and Brian Campbell doing business as boot connection. This is basically to change the driveway approach because of the road work on Layton.
Motion to approve
Motion
with
by
parking
Alderperson
lot improvements and
Kastner.
everything.
and I will second.
Second by Alderperson Collins. I think Alderperson Kastner, there were some comments at the planning commission with regard to curbs and plant.
Yeah, if they want to do it. I
If
don't
they
know.
wanted to do
Yeah.
whatever worked best, they
Yes.
were certainly given that flexibility. Okay, motion was made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Just give me 1 second, I'm looking at two things here. Item 12, discussion decision regarding revising the emergency service dispatcher job description. Entertain a motion to approve. Actually, what I'd like to do, items 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and I lost my last 17. 17 are all from the Finance Committee meeting. Entertain a motion to approve all of those
I move for approval.
Second.
presented. The only one that's different in there is the stock box program. That's getting reaffirmed, renewed. Motion by Alderperson Sarian, second by Alderperson Kastner. Would you please call on that one?
Alderperson Sarian?
Aye.
Alderperson Collins?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Okay, item 18 is the common council to go into closed session to consider licensure of Bao Kwok Vo is here.
I do not see him.
We held this from the last time, right? So I think we can remove that from the agenda. This was on our last common council meeting, right? He's not here. So we don't need to go into closed session for that one. Item 19, common council to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85, parent 1, parent G, for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. This would include a resolution partially allowing the claim of Jessica Mendoza relating to basement flooding damage, and B, a resolution partially allowing the claim of Craig? Is
Craig,
that
sorry.
pronounced, spelled right?
No, it should be IG.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So it should be CRAIG and Sonia Moore relating to the basement flooding damage. Entertain a motion to go into closed session for those purposes.
So moved.
Motion by Alderperson Akers, second by Alderperson Collins. Would you please call to go into closed session?
Alderperson Sarian? Aye. Alderperson Collins?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Okay, so you guys can't be in here. You're going to have to sit outside, okay? You're going to be kicked out again. Sorry about that. If you listen really close to the door, though, you can hear everything